True or false? Babe Pig in the City, the 1998 sequel to the acclaimed 1995 film Babe, was written and directed by Mad Max series creator George Miller.
I did know that.
Oh.
What a fun
That's
fact.
true or false?
Oh, yes, that's true.
Yeah.
We got books. We're talking about
We are
movies.
so smart.
Well, these aren't really actual books. These are like more essays
Yeah.
and facts. But movies better than the book. None of these are books based that are movies, but these were the only books we had available.
Yep.
You know, there's obvious ones that we're
Yep.
not going to talk about. Fight Club,
Yep.
The Godfather,
Mm-hmm.
Jaws,
Yep.
Forrest Gump. Probably the most
Or like Forrest
obvious.
Gump, am I right?
No, that's not. What? I like that movie.
Oh, but the
Why
book
did I
is
fist bump you?
the book is
Yeah.
crazy.
And then Jurassic Park, which is full of just like science.
But how hard was it to beat that? Have you ever read Jurassic Park?
I tried in elementary
Have you ever
school.
read a Michael Crichton book?
Yes.
It's just
it's a
half
battle
science.
sometimes.
It's
No.
like every other chapter is like
I read
science.
his Beowulf book, Eaters of the Dead.
Oh yeah, I read
Terrible movie, 13th Warrior.
I read Timeline.
Oh, yeah.
Incredible movie, incredibly bad movie, but fun to watch. But you know what? Better than the book. So
So I'll get us started just because I want to talk about Bridget Jones's Diary, which a lot of people say is better than the book. I've never read the book. But the reason they say it's better than the book is because Colin Firth and Hugh Grant and Renee Zellweger just crush it so well in those roles that it feels lived in, whereas sometimes in a book you don't really, sometimes your mind's eye can't picture what's happening.
it is a good movie.
Yeah.
It's and I don't know, are the sequels based on books too?
They're all based on the books.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with the Bridget Jones book series.
But they make a lot of money.
They do make a lot of money.
Yeah.
I think, they're talking about making another one, right?
I didn't know that.
That's part of the reason why I talk about it.
Yeah.
Huh.
Does it come out this year?
No, I think they're filming it this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Someone's not coming back. I can't remember if it's Firth or if it's
Hugh Grant's coming back this time. Because Firth came back on the last one.
That's right. Oh man, I'm excited for old, grumpy Hugh Grant.
I read a lot of trashy spy novels, not a lot of books that were turned into movies. But one of the ones that I did
Harriet
read,
the Spy.
yes.
Was that where they were going to say?
No.
Okay.
I read Shutter Island in like middle school whenever I was getting into movies, and I heard
Are you
that
a Shutter Island hipster?
I kind of like Shutter. The movie is fine, but the book is so. What I find interesting is I was reading the book, and I was enjoying it, but it's very vague. And then Martin Scorsese took it, and he's like, "Nah, like there's an answer to this," and he kind of had an answer for everybody. I think it's an okay movie.
So wait, so are you saying it's better than the book?
The movie's better than the book. Yes.
Okay.
I think I think if you only watch Shutter Island the first time, you'll probably be like, yeah, it's an okay movie.
Yeah.
But I think when you watch it more, it reveals stuff because, there's the whole fire and water stuff. There's a lot of allegorical elements to it. And obviously, the more you watch something, maybe a finer appreciation. Scorsese movies, he intentionally makes them rewatch and you find new things.
Yes.
One shout out Shrek. Has nothing to do with the book or the movie.
I've never read the
Also,
book.
if you've ever seen any of the drawings, very crude.
Very crude. Very I remember finding it and being like, whoa, that's like the movie. And it is just like 30 pages.
Yeah.
It is a children's book.
Yeah.
If we're not talking about Fight Club, can we talk about like Gone Girl and Girl with the Dragon Tattoo?
You can.
Because
I
read I didn't read Gone Girl. I listened to Gone Girl.
Oh.
The audiobook.
Heresy!
And that's where, is that considered reading?
And
it's like, is it listening?
And I don't know.
Does it go on Goodreads?
Do I think the twist is pulled off better in the book? Yes.
Yeah.
But do I think the overall, message and what it's saying and what it's about, is it better in the movie? Yes, because, you get to see things like the whole Nick Dunn, the way his face is or the way he acts, or even, Rosamund Pike's performance as Amy, you more of that that is just described in the book comes out, and so I think it's a real everything the book is trying to say and trying to do just comes out because those are just two incredible actors.
Yeah.
Same thing with Tyler Perry. That character is so much fun in the movie.
Yeah.
Because again, you're reading a book and there's only there's two people in the audiobook who are like reading those parts, and so there's just not everything comes through. Again, I do think the twist is done better, but also maybe it's because I knew the twist was coming.
Maybe, yeah.
And they, I don't know. So it's.
But also, it's like movies have one advantage over books,
and
in that show don't tell.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is 100% exactly what a movie is. Yeah. So.
And I think but it's also more because of what the movie is about, and things like perspective and things of like just hiding things. It's a lot easier to show that instead of just being like, he was hiding something, like it's just.
And sometimes you have to write around the thing you're trying to reveal, and sometimes it can make the writing a little bit chunky, harder to read. So,
and isn't it the same writer?
It's the same, and that's what I think. A lot of it too is, maybe even like Gillian Flynn would say, it's a better version of it because I had a first pass at it, I had my first try, and now I am getting to work in a visual medium. So I think she would probably agree. Yeah, it's better than the book. Yeah. Because I got to do more with it. So and she wouldn't be like scoff at the idea, So
well, I'm putting two movies together because they're both satirical, and one is very much in the now because of Helldivers, the video game, and that's Starship Troopers, and the other one is American Psycho. Both very satirical books. Well, satirical movies. I've read both books. Starship Troopers, I read it after the movie. So my idea of the satirical of like what fascism would be like in the future. So the book, I read it from the perspective of the movie.
Interesting.
Movie's 100 times better. Yeah. There's some great writing in there. Heinlein's one of the greatest sci-fi authors of all time. So it's very heavy on the militarism and like the duty of like serving for your country and things like that. Whereas the movie is like, this is bad. Everything's bad about it. Basically Nazis taking over the universe, potentially. And then in Helldivers, they take that even further, and it's like maybe they planted the bugs there and stuff like that. And then American Psycho, I would say it's on par with the book. I give a slight edge to the movie only because of the direction and Christian Bale and Josh Lucas and Jared Leto and a bunch of other dudes, Justin Theroux. Yeah. It's just a really well-acted movie. And I also read the book after the movie. And I think it helps inform you, but it's very dense.
Didn't the writer say that I think it's a woman.
Bret Easton Ellis wrote the book, and then Mary Harron directed the movie.
That's right. Okay, that's what I'm going to mix up. I think the writer said that they prefer the movie more.
Yeah, because it distills down what he's trying to do in the book. The book, there's no chapters. I can't remember if there's no chapters or not, but it's very much like you'll get just like a wall of text, and he's just like, and he's wearing an Armani jacket with the Gucci, whatever, and shoes.
In movies, you get that immediately.
Yeah. So, but the monologue in the book, I think, is better than the monologue in the movie.
Like the day-to-day.
Where he puts on all this stuff. But overall, the movie's better. Yeah. I just think they're both satirical movies that I think are better if you watch the movie first and then read the book.
Interesting.
Very interesting. I can talk about Lincoln more if you guys want.
No, we're not letting you talk about Lincoln.
The same thing. The book was dense. The movie was great.
What was your history book from 7th grade? What are you talking about?
11th grade history class, and I was like, this is interesting, but it's also 1,000 pages. And...
We know you like Lincoln. You don't have to tell anybody else.
I've got one that I don't know. It's interesting that it hasn't had like a return, like mid 2000, early 2000s return. And that's Holes.
Oh yeah,
Louis Sacker's Holes. I loved the movie. I think I saw the movie first. Yeah. But like everyone had already read the book, and then I went back and read the book. But
I was the opposite.
It was. I just think it's a really great adaptation. It's a lot of fun. I think it really it takes out the parts of the book because I think it does go a lot more into like the old town
There's a lot more flashbacks in the book.
There's a lot more flashbacks. There's the Kissing Kate stuff. That's more in the book, a lot more, I guess, fleshed out, you would say. But I don't think you need that for the movie. I think it really does it does a great job of having everything connect at the end instead of it being kind of given to you throughout.
I haven't read or watched the movie since 3rd grade, but I remember liking the movie a lot more because it appealed to me more. Yeah. It was less. It was more for kids, I guess. like young adults, I guess.
I've never read or seen Holes.
Yeah.
It's a big hole in my filmography.
You should fill it with knowledge.
Yeah, I just think also what a cast too.
Yeah.
I mean, even like we don't have
Isn't
to talk
Sigourney
about
Weaver in it?
like we don't even talk about Shaw, but you got
Yeah.
Sigourney Weaver, you got John Voight, you got Tim Blake Nelson, you got
A real who's who of the
yeah,
early
you
2000s.
got Henry Winkler is his dad.
Oh, he is in that.
Rick
That's
Fox
right.
is in this movie.
Rick Fox, oh yeah.
Rick Fox. This is one of this and Eddie, right? The Whoopi Goldberg movie, or the two movies where I thought like Rick Fox was like
He's blowing up.
I was like, man, this dude can do anything. But no, I think also, and it's got like a sick kids rap at the end that you're just like over the credits.
Okay, before we go, I've neither read nor seen any of these movies.
Okay.
Harry Potter ones. Is there any ones that are better than the book?
Prisoner of Azkaban.
Which one is that?
That's the third one.
Okay.
That's
Not
the-
only is that the best book, it is the best movie in the series, and people can come fight me if they want.
But isn't that pretty? That's the one that Alfonso made, right?
But Alfonso Cuarón did a Prisoner of Azkaban movie. Yeah. They're both really great. Maybe the movie is just a little bit better because I think he does a great job of like taking exactly what doesn't need to be in there for a movie, of course, and like cutting that part out. Where later you get people cutting out things that they shouldn't be cutting out and putting in things they shouldn't be putting in. It's just a great visual storyteller too. Like it's just the vibes in that. It's all vibes, most of it, and I love it. So it's great. What about Die Hard?
Never read that one either.
Book? Another trashy airport book.
Not really a Die Hard book.
It's not. It's barely. It's like the simulate. I think it's maybe the name.
It's like how I was reading like, oh, Blade Runner's better than the book. No, Blade Runner's not even a book, man.
Yeah. There's James Bond. Those are technically adaptations.
Well,
a lot of them are pretty much just like the book. So you're not missing anything if you don't read the book or watch the movies. You get exactly the same.
Maybe some more misogynism,
Probably a lot because it was
misogyny.
the 50s and 60s.